Hi, and welcome to The Global Good. I'm your host, Shelley Steeves. Now, it's not all bad news out there. There are countless stories of hope and inspiration and incredible people to meet right across the country. And it's my pleasure to bring those stories to you right here and hopefully spread some smiles. Now, our first story is about two seniors from Fraser Valley. Their youthful spirit and sense of adventure is enough to put people half their age to shame. Grace Key now with the story.
When you sit down with Henry Martins, right away you realize this is a man who's had a lot of daring adventures over the years.
So have you ever skydived before?
Me?
Yeah.
Once or twice.
There's 6 times I could have been dead and 2 times I should have been dead.
At 95, he's still looking for the next big thrill on a skydiving adventure.
I like the thrill of it. Yeah, it feels good.
He's not the only senior taking the leap. Etta Hellier is getting rock star status with her first jump. She's trading in her cane for a parachute. At 90 years old, Etta is still eager to try new things.
You're not going to dig it out, are you?
I don't think I would have done this when I was younger, but now I have no qualms about it at all.
And if the jump alone isn't enough of a thrill, Etta is upping her game.
I have challenged Henry that we're going to do a somersault.
Not to be outdone, it looks like Henry was up for the challenge, leaping right into a somersault.
That was the only time I thought we would make it.
Back on the ground, Henry is already talking about his next jump.
I'm going to wait till I'm 100 and then I'll do it again.
Well, they're a lot braver than me. Now on to a story about a young man from Lethbridge, Alberta, who recently had an adventure of his own on a stage in Edmonton.
It took 22-year-old Tristan Cermak years to find his voice. Born with a form of autism, he was unable to utter a word until the age of 3.
I've changed a lot from when I was younger. There's still things that, I need to work on, but I've overcome a lot.
Which is what made this moment so surreal. After sharing his story of triumph, Tristan won a chance to sing on stage in Edmonton with his music idol, Carrie Underwood.
It was probably the scariest thing I've ever done, and I'm glad I did it.
Forced to face his deepest fear, speaking in public, there on stage in front of thousands of screaming fans, Tristan belted out the lyrics to a rather fitting song. The champion. His drive to overcome any challenge is enough to leave you speechless.
Pretty inspiring, huh? Now on to a story about a group of local heroes in Moncton who recently performed a rescue that absolutely melted hearts. Now, they were firefighters. They didn't run into a burning building. The rescue was not typical at all. In fact, it was even a first for their veteran captain.
I've been doing this job for almost 33 years, and just when you think you've seen it all, there's always something new.
The crew spotted a family in distress as they approached this crosswalk.
Hope they make it. We probably need to help them out.
We were concerned that they were going to get hit.
Waddling right in the middle of this crosswalk, venturing dangerously close to traffic, was a mother duck and her babies, trying to get to the marsh nearby.
They want to get to the water, right?
So like ducks take to water, those burly firefighters who normally run into burning buildings swooped in to help. They blocked traffic with the fire rig and gently coaxed that family of paddlers toward the river.
It was kind of amazing. They'd stop at each puddle, probably waddle a little bit in there, and then just continue on.
But those patient firefighters didn't rush the job one bit.
There was a little one at the end. We called him Geppetto, and he couldn't get up over the curb.
They patiently waited for the little guy to catch up, and those little quackers made it to the marsh, thanks to the efforts of a few local heroes.
It was very moving, and it was very neat to see all those big guys that we take for granted, and to see such a great act of kindness from them.
Adorable. Now on to a pair of stories about some pretty amazing and dedicated dads. They threw on some swim trunks and some dancing shoes, all to make their daughters smile.
Our first stop is at a dance studio in Calgary, where a group of dads spent weeks learning some pretty complicated dance moves so their daughters could take the leap.
We're just kind of bonding through the same experience, getting to spend time with our daughters in something that they love to do.
It is cool to see what it's like for them, get a feel for what they do on stage, and you get a lot more respect for what they do. It takes a lot.
Reach! I just love how committed these dads are. They work hard, they practice, they wanted extra rehearsals just so they'd look really good.
From the dance floor now to the poolside, where a group of dads in Winnipeg rallied together to raise money for their kids' synchronized swimming team. They started out simply knowing how to tread water and swim a few strokes.
I didn't know what I was getting myself into. It was just kind of, can we swim laps? Can we dive? Can we go upside down?
Even their daughters were a little skeptical.
Well, I wasn't expecting much.
But it's pretty amazing what a bunch of dads can accomplish when inspired by their kids. Their performance made a big splash.
You realize you can't always do things as good as your kids anymore. So I'm proud of her. I'm proud of what she does.
Way to go, dads. That's all for this edition of The Global Good. Don't forget to send us your story ideas from across the country. And don't forget, click that share button and help us spread some smiles. After all, it's for the global good. I'm Shelley Steeves. Keep smiling.